Hello and welcome to another at-home edition of Chesapeake Weekly. We hope you're all staying well. Today, when we're recording this, it is Monday, April 20th. So for the most up-to-date information, we want to send you to our website. That's cityofchesapeake.net/COVID-19. And you can also follow us on any of our social media pages, which do remain up to date. We update those regularly. So that's at City of Chesapeake on Facebook and at About Chesapeake on Twitter. So we hope you'll be following us there. Chesapeake City Council has approved $2.4 million appropriation towards our COVID-19 response. So we wanted to learn a little bit more about what that means for our city and our response to this emergency. So we went straight to the city manager, Mr. Chris Price, and here's what he had to say.
One of the things we committed to really early in the process was using the best available science and the best available data to make decisions. And as everybody knows, that science and that data has changed over time. So as the recommendations continued to come out regarding sanitation and disinfecting protocols, and in regards to who should be wearing personal protective equipment, we've continued to ramp up and respond. And so we're deploying that personal protective equipment, of course, to first responders, and we have been for some time, but now to all city employees who are choosing to use them. And so we were very well prepared for that, but we continue to ramp up and respond. So the city has some cash available for emergency planning purposes. We had about $400,000 planned for the budget year that we're currently in. I had already spent a little more than half of that, and so just to be prepared for what might come over the next 90 days, I did ask council to authorize and appropriate a little more than $2 million to continue to be able to respond. And I thought that was important, particularly because we don't know how often council will be able to get together during the emergency. Already it's difficult to get together in person. We're thinking through some electronic means to conduct council meetings. But in the event that we weren't able to convene council, we thought it was prudent to have emergency cash on hand and available to make sure we can get us through the next 3 months.
Now, the Chesapeake Health Department wants to remind everybody that while what we're doing is working and we're doing a great job, we're not out of the woods yet. So you may have heard the governor has extended the non-essential business closures for another 2 weeks. So we really want to remind everyone that we're still in the thick of this and everybody should still be practicing social distancing if you have to go out. If you have to go out, wear a mask. It's easy. Any kind of cloth covering that you can find around your house, you can throw around your mouth and your nose and keep it covered. That helps protect other people just in case you have it and you don't have any symptoms and you don't know about it. So that's going to help calm the spread of the disease. The other thing, of course, stay at home if you can and wash those hands. So we want to keep doing what we're doing because we're not quite done with it all yet. So stay the course, Chesapeake. The election. So we want to talk a little bit about the May 5th election. So again, as I said in the beginning, I'm recording this on April 20th, but on April 22nd, the Virginia General Assembly is going to be holding a special session where we do expect them to make some sort of decision one way or another about the May 5th election. There is talk of a possible postponement due to all of this. So to get that updated information, again, we want you to go to our website because we will be posting all of that information there. In the meantime, we highly encourage you to apply for your absentee ballot. Just in case the election remains on May 5th, you want to vote absentee. Anybody can do it. All you have to do is select my disability or illness as your reason for voting absentee, and then you'll get your ballot in the mail in just a few days. It's really easy. I've already done it. But keep an eye out on that news. We will be posting information to our social medias as well once the General Assembly, the Virginia General Assembly, meets on April 22nd for their special session. We do expect an update from them then, so we will keep everybody informed. High-rise rescue. So last week, our fire department made national news for being the awesome people that they are. There was a tractor trailer on the high-rise bridge on I-64 that got in a very dangerous accident, and the cab of the truck ended up hanging off the side of the bridge. Luckily, Chesapeake Fire Department is well trained in all scenarios, and here's what happened.
We got a pre-alert that there was an expanded traffic accident on the high-rise. I assumed that it would have something to do with the weather and that it wasn't going to be as bad or as involved as what we encountered once we got on scene.
It's a very difficult scenario. I mean, even if you set it and you train for it, it's still, you can't predict the weather. You can't have those wind and rain, and especially a truck hanging off the bridge with somebody in it.
When we arrived on scene, they were setting up for what we call a elevated anchor point. So the ladder truck was parked on scene, positioned, and they had their boom out. And Norfolk was already on scene, Virginia Beach was coming, and they were doing what they had to stabilize the vehicle to keep it from going in the water, because the wind was just whipping that thing around.
Biggest concern I had was the wind. The weather was really unpredictable up there on the bridge. We've never done, and we wouldn't even be allowed to do training in situations like that. Even if it was a really windy day, we're not going out and training in a situation that could get somebody hurt. That's the unpredictable factor right there. All the other things we've done before. You just start to go into, okay, we know what we want to do. We know what kind of systems we want to do. But then you take into account the weather. That's something that you can't account for. It's always in the back of our mind. We've talked about trucks going over and hanging from the side of the bridge before.
So we have, at our station, we're specialized in tech rescue, and then we also have 3 additional ladder companies around the city. We train with them on a regular basis. We do training here every day, and then every month or so we train with each ladder. We also have what's called a regional response, where Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Suffolk, and even outlying areas. We all come together like a couple times a year and train on specialty calls like that.
I think the biggest thing is that we train so much on it. We all know each other. We're stationed here. Just the training, we know what each other can do. At this station, and even a little bit further, the guys from Norfolk and Virginia Beach, we know what they can do because we train with them as well. And we even had an advantage because one of the guys who actually did the lower for Justin, he used to be stationed here as well for a few years, so he knew exactly what we wanted to do, and it just worked out really well. Of course, Justin, he's super cold at the time, and he's shaking, and he's like, "I'm not nervous." He said, "I'm just shaking because it's so cold out here." But I think Justin has just clicked in all his training and stuff. It just was like second nature to him. You're like, wow, that is crazy. But I think in the moment, it's like, okay, we've done this. We've all done this before. And for Justin, he was fine. The other guy, I was like, he had that 1,000-yard stare.
Well, if you've driven by City Hall, you may have seen our Pinwheel Garden. You know, every year we like to celebrate the Pinwheels for Peace campaign, and that's a child abuse prevention campaign where we put pinwheels at various city buildings, and we even have lit up City Hall blue in the evenings this year. There was concern going into the COVID scenario and the stay-at-home scenario that we would see an increase in reports of child abuse because of children being at home in stressful situations. At our recent Mayor's Emergency Roundtable, Human Services Director Jill Baker said, "That's not necessarily what we're seeing, but that doesn't mean that it's not occurring." Take a listen to what she said.
Actually, we're not seeing an uptick in the numbers of Child Protective Services referral, which concerns me. I have a lot of concerns for our children in the community. Child Protective Services has been, and we will continue to respond to all calls of abuse and neglect, but as you know, the schools are oftentimes a safe haven or a safety net for children who may be being abused or neglected at home. Also, the schools are the largest callers by far for our Child Protective Services reports. So I just would like to take this opportunity to remind the community that CPS is still taking and responding to calls. And if anyone suspects, and all you have to do is suspect, you don't have to prove it, that a child is being abused or neglected, they can simply call our hotline, and that's 382-2020, easy number to remember. And we have family service workers who will take your information and get all the details so that we can respond quickly to ensure a child's safety.
The Child Protective Services hotline is always available. If you have any suspicion that a child might be abused or neglected, you are highly encouraged to call this number. It's 382-2020. That's the Chesapeake Child Protective Services hotline. And all you have to do is have a suspicion. You don't have to have any proof, but if you are concerned in any way that a child may be abused or neglected, please call that number, 382-2020. And if you want to have a fun craft to do at home with your kids, consider making a pinwheel for this campaign, Pinwheels for Peace. You can find a lot of how-tos on preventionchildabuse.org, plus you can learn a little bit more about that organization. And we also posted a really simple how to make a pinwheel how-to form on our Facebook page last week. So go check that out and maybe make that the craft of the week for your household. Now, the COVID-19 response has caused a lot of hardship on many people's bank accounts, some more than others. And a lot of our utilities are seeing that is going to be an issue. We announced early on that the Public Utilities Department was not going to be shutting off anybody's water because we are understanding that people are going through a lot of financial changes right now. Dominion Energy has announced that, and that they're not going to be cutting off their power. And they also have a lot of bill assistance programs. You can learn more about that at dominionenergy.com. And then there's another service from HRSD. It's called Share H2O, and it's an opportunity for people who need help towards their water and wastewater bills to get that help. In fact, up to $250 of help. And it's also a great opportunity for people who maybe are not having financial struggles to donate a little bit extra to help those who are. So take a look at some more information about the Share H2O campaign.
For 20 years, we've been able to help people with their water and wastewater utility bills.
We do see a lot of folks that just report a one-time crisis. They just fell on hard times.
For instance, an elderly person that's on a fixed income, someone just lost their job, or even someone with a medical condition.
There aren't a lot of programs specifically designed for those emergency assistance situations, and that's what's really special about the Help to Others program.
If this program did not exist, we would have a large number of our community without the basic necessity of life, which is water.
They can't bathe, they can't wash their dishes, they can't wash their clothes.
When someone needs assistance, that we work with our local Salvation Army branches.
The Salvation Army would review their account for eligibility, and if it looked good, we would set up an appointment, do some light paperwork, and make a pledge to their water account.
As a community-based program, we work just on the generosity of community donors, and all of our donations go directly to helping local families in need here in the Hampton Roads region.
You can donate by going to the website at shareh2o.org. You can donate on the hrsd.com website when you pay your bill by rounding up the change. You can also donate by mail.
100% of the donations go directly to helping local families in need.
Please donate to help keep the water flowing for a local neighbor in need.
Now, if your favorite at-home activity has been yard work, you're definitely not alone. The Public Works Department has been seeing a huge increase in volume of yard waste. Just a reminder to everybody that yard and tree bulk waste has been temporarily suspended. We're trying to keep our crews as socially distant as possible, and a lot of those that machinery that's used to collect your big, large bulk yard and tree waste require people to be very close by. So we're working on spreading those crews out so that we can keep our crews healthy. But one thing that is still allowed are your bagged, plastic bagged small yard waste. So it's like grass clippings and leaves and maybe some small twigs and that sort of stuff that can fit in the plastic bags that you place at the curb. Normally, you're required to have clear plastic bags, but we are understanding that supplies are limited at stores and a lot of people just can't get out, so you're trying to use what you've got. So for now, black bags, white bags, they're all fine. Any kind of plastic bag that you need to put your small yard waste into, you're allowed to now. Just remember, there's a max of 30 per residence per week. You don't have to call to request a bulk pickup for that one. You just put them at the curb and they'll be around. But we are seeing some delays just due to the high volume. So leave it at the curb. If they don't get to it on your collection day, don't worry. They're going to be coming back around the next day and trying to make up for that time. Now, if you haven't already started your garden, but you're interested in it, Megan Hale, who works with Parks, Rec, and Tourism, and she is truly the environmental guru, the green guide for everything over there at Parks and Rec. Megan has done one at her own house, and she filmed it for us. Take a look at all that Megan did on her time off. And before we go, a couple of reminders for you. Don't forget about the census. There is still time to take it. The census provides critical funding to projects right here in our city. It funds schooling, it funds hospitals, it funds projects. Really important stuff that we need now more than ever, and it provides that funding for the next 10 years. So you don't want to miss out on your opportunity to be counted. It's really easy. It takes less than 10 minutes. You can do it online at my2020census.gov. You can also do it by phone if you need more help, 844-330-2020. And there are lots of different language options. So if you really, however you need to take it, they can help you. So go to my2020census.gov, call 844-330-2020, and take that census today. The operating budget is still available for you to view online at cityofchesapeake.net/budget. That proposed operating budget is all spelled out there for you, and City Manager Chris Price even did a video presentation to kind of walk you through all the steps of it. That's available there to view, and we're interested in hearing your feedback. If you would like to present your comments or questions, just email them, budgetinput@cityofchesapeake.net. And there will be a public hearing of some sort before the required May 15th adoption of that budget. That's kind of the deadline for that, so stay tuned. And don't forget, election, just another final reminder. The General Assembly meets on April 22nd, so if you're watching this video after that, make sure you go to our website, cityofchesapeake.net/COVID-19, and we'll have it all over everywhere. You can find more information at /vote on our website, and of course all of our social medias. We're going to keep you up to date on what the General Assembly decides to do about that May 5th election, so stay tuned to that. That does it for this home edition of Chesapeake Weekly. We want to remind everybody to stay the course, stay home. If you must go out, wear a mask, and practice that social distancing and good hand washing. We hope everybody stays healthy, and we want to leave you now with a really happy story about how some people are showing their gratitude to the men and women who are truly on the front line of this crisis. Stay healthy, everyone. We'll see you next week.
We were going to do it all around the city anyway, but I had a customer that had a credit, and they told me to do something special with it. And I decided that would be the best thing to do. So I did a pay it forward to Chesapeake. I cannot tell you the number of phone calls that I received from nurses, staff at Chesapeake General, the other facilities, everyone. A lady called me this morning after she saw the paper crying, telling me thank you, that we made a difference, and that makes me feel great. So I'm glad we can just do a little something to let everyone know how much we support them.
And you're doing this in other places too?
We're doing it all over the city.
Virginia has long been recognized as the birthplace of America. American Evolution commemorates the 400th anniversary of formative events that occurred in Virginia in 1619 and explores how they still influence us today. 1619 was a pivotal year in American history, the year of the first representative legislative assembly in the New World, the arrival of the first recorded Africans to English North America, the recruitment of English women in significant numbers, the first official English Thanksgiving in North America, the entrepreneurial and innovative spirit of the Virginia colony. With a robust schedule of events, programs, and projects, we will share authentic stories of Virginia's diverse leaders, achievers, and pioneers who have had an impact on today's America. Because of them, we are Virginia. We are democracy, born from the first legislative assembly that planted the seeds of American democracy. We are diverse. English, African, and Virginia Indian cultures collided for the first time in 1619 Virginia and laid the foundation for our multicultural nation. We are achievers, women, past and present, whose triumphs and struggles in America are far too seldom acknowledged. We are thankful. We continue to give thanks for the opportunity to reinvent ourselves. We are innovators. From the Virginia colony, America's first startup, to the innovative and entrepreneurial spirit of today. This commemoration inspires us to engage in the themes of democracy, diversity, and opportunity. We are honestly and intentionally sharing a comprehensive history and untold stories of 400 years of American evolution. And we are building awareness of Virginia's role in the creation of the United States and ongoing leadership in education, tourism, and economic development. We are Virginia. We are America. Be a part of the American evolution and explore how our history and these stories impact us today. Learn more about American Evolution events and activities. To join the journey, visit AmericanEvolution2019.com.
new app in town. It's come to make your life easier when you need a service from the city of Chesapeake. Need a bulk trash pickup? Got you covered. Spot a pothole? Report it here. Neighbor's yard looking trashy? Help is on the way. The brand new Chesapeake Service Requests app is available now in the App Store and on Google Play. It's free and easy to both download and use. Add the app to your favorite device today so it's ready when you need it. And with so many services available, you're sure to need it soon. If you have questions about the app, you can call the Chesapeake Customer Contact Center at 382-CITY.